They're finally fixing the date object in JavaScript. I mean, it's about time. No? Huh? Date time? No? Alright. Well, in this video we're going over temporal API, and if you've used the date object in JavaScript before, you know how tedious it is to work with that, especially outside of one country. But temporal API basically it fixes all of the date objects problems. And in this video I'm going to be showing you some of the common problems with the date object and the fixes with the temporal API. Without further ado, let's begin. So into the code we go. The first problem with the date object is that it's mutable. As you can see, I've created an original date and logged it out the console. I then make a modified date and I change the hours on that new date object, supposedly new date object. And if I now output each of the corresponding dates, you would expect them to be different, but no. As you can see, originally the original date had a time of 10, but after the new modified date was changed, the original date was changed as well. That's one of the things people really hate about the date object. You can't just make changes by assigning it to a new date object. But with the temporal API, it's really simple. So temporal API has plenty of ways to work with time. You could use now, you could use instant, you could use plain date and time, but they're just different ways of giving a certain point in time. So I made a temporal instant and I'll log that to instant out. And with the new instant, as what I tried to do before with the date object, I tried to change the hours, but now with the temporal API I can use the add function and simply add the hours, minutes, seconds, month, years, whatever time I want to add. I can simply add that on to the new instant, and it won't change the original instant. Let me just comment these out. As you can see, the original instant had a time of 10 hours. I added 2 hours to that to make a new instant, and its time is 12 hours, and the original instant remains unchanged. How can it take 28 years to do something so simple? But that's JavaScript for you. The second thing is that you can't get date and time in a specific zone. For if you work with software that will be used across different countries, this is one of the main concerns. As you can see, if I make a date object and I output the time in local hours and UTC hours, they're different, and it's just so tedious to work with them. So outputting them out, as you can see, I have a local hours of 10 and UTC hours of 9. Imagine having to convert each time you wanted to work or make a change. Another thing is that if you wanted to output the times in the local string format, depending on which time zone it is, you get different outputs. If I just log that out, as you can see, with the first one, it's in the format of day, month, and year. With the London time, it's day, month, and year. Although you could have day here, it's not mandatory. The London time, it is mandatory. That's why you have the 0 digit there. If you weren't aware of that and you try to make operations or like compare these two times, you would just get errors and you'd sit there going through all the different time zones across the world trying to fix that problem. But with the temporal API, it's almost magic. Let me just comment this out. I can simply make an instant, as I've done before, and the instant has a method. I can call the method to zone date time ISO format, and just provide the time zone. America, New York, Europe, London. And as you can, if I log them out, perfect. Exact same format. There is no like many details that would just be a headache trying to work with. All that's different is that identifier on the end telling you which time zone it is. Another thing the temporal API allows you to do is convert between these times easily. It's just a single line of code. You give the first time, and you use the method with time zone, and you provide the time zone you want to convert to. So I'm converting the New York time to London time, and if I log that out, wow, it's like magic. New York time converted, and it's the same. As you can see, these two are the same. And what were people doing for 28 years? The last thing is, oh my god, working with like mathematical operations with the date object in JavaScript is it's hieroglyphics. You have to convert it to like milliseconds each time you want to perform mathematical operation and then convert it back. I'm not even gonna go through all of that. But with the temporal API, you can just, there's plenty of methods you can use. There's add, equals, subtract, compare. For example, the example I've shown here is calculating the duration between 2 points. With the date object, you'd have to convert it to milliseconds, subtract, convert it back. Tedious, nobody wants to do that. With the temporal API, you just make 2 instances in time, and then simply use the until method. You provide the time you want to subtract from, and you'll this argument is not compulsory, but naturally it would give it in milliseconds, or seconds rather. But if you wanted to give it in hours, minutes, or whatever, you simply provide that as an argument. And if I console log that out, I simply get there's 8,760 hours time difference between these 2 points. Whoever did this deserves a round of applause. Well, there's so many other things you can do. You can work with like a lunar calendar. There's a lot of things you can do with the temporal API. Right now, it's only compatible with Firefox, but I'll let you guys know when it's compatible with all the majorly used browsers. And that's it for this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.